Self-examination requires a lot of monitoring. For example, how many times have you looked to the left or to the right? How many steps have you taken in order to fix this certain sin, right? Have you how many times did you fail? How many times did you fall? Because that's the only thing in your early walk is that you need to focus on, right? Why are you mindful of others when you must be minding your own business, right? And that's how everything starts, right? With minding your own business. Because if you're focused solely on others, right, you forgot what you need to fix first. And that is you, right? Let's go. Let's look for some scriptures. This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. Judge not that you be not judged. So, of course, there's a righteous judgment and there's a judgment that is not correct. So, this is talking about the judgment of hypocrisy, of a hypocrite. Verse 2. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged, and with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. So, how you judge others is how it's going to go back at you. Okay. Verse 3. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye? A mote is a tiny piece of substance like a dust, something like that, right? Continuing, that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye. So a beam is a big or a large piece of wood, right? So you see the comparison in this verse, right? Someone is judging someone because that person that he is judging has a little speck of dust, but he himself, right, has a big beam, right? You see how hypocrite that is, right? You have a big problem in your hand, but you focus more on that chink in the armor. It's like that chink in the armor. Someone is making a mistake, but you are very hard on it, while you have that beam that is in thine own eye, right? So how can you even fix yourself if you're mainly focused on others, right? Let's continue. Matthew 7, verse 4. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye, right? You're mad at the mistake of this brother, but you have a big beam inside of you, man. There's a breach in your spirit, but you're focused more on that little mistake that the brother made. How could you, right? Whosoever has not offended in this truth, right? So we must first be mindful of ourselves, right? And that starts first with yourself. And monitoring that helps you, right? Because that's where you should be only looking at and not monitoring other people's lives, right? It must starts with you. Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye, right? So you must remove first that big beam in your eyes, right? The other brother only has a mote, right? But you're not, but you are ignorant of that. So that makes you a hypocrite. So that's our meditation for today, is because our minds are more focused on the outside forces or outside surrounding, while they are not focused of themselves. We must first be focused of ourselves before we try to fix others, right? And it starts really with you. You know, how can you fix others if you're not fixing yourself every day, right? So that's my meditation, my reflection, and hopefully it resonates towards you. At the end of the day, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai.